Yeah, good morning, friends. Myself, Dr. Seshadri. Dr. Seshadri. I have total 18 years of teaching experience. Total 18 years of teaching experience. So I am AWS certified trainer. At associate level. I am given the training is 40 days of the training. These 40 days of the training, once you register the codes, then every day you are getting class recording videos. Class recording videos. Class material. And at the end of the training, then you got the AWS interview questions and answers. We got it. And at the end of the training, I'm providing the AWS dumps. That is, when you are completing your AWS training, then you need to attempt the global certification, cloud practitioner, or at associate level. Then I am providing the AWS dump, that is previously asked questions and answers. Around 800 pages I am providing. The previous questions and answers I am providing. And also at the end of the training, I am providing each topic, the screenshot explanation I am providing. Screenshot explanation I am providing. This is in my side. Once you register the course, then you are getting those things. Sir, what are the topics we have covered in this 40 days of the training? In this 40 days of the training means I have covered the content is, those are the content I have to cover. See friends, that is here in my training program, I have covered the basics of cloud computing and also the AWS introduction. Here in basics of cloud computing, how we are defining the cloud computing, what are the advantages of the cloud computing, what are the types of cloud computing are there, what are the delivery models. Delivery models is nothing but deployment and the service models we are discussing, right? And also we are discussed the AWS introduction. What is the global infrastructure? How many regions are there? How many availability zones are there? How to create your AWS free tier account? For that, what are the requirements are there? Those concepts we are discussed in the AWS, that is introduction to the cloud computing. And then after completion of this, then I will start the compute service. Compute service is nothing but the EC2 service. Using the EC2 service, what we have to do is, that is, you have to launch the instances. You may launch the Linux server. You may launch the Windows server. You may launch Ubuntu, Red Hat Linux, right? So as per your requirement, you have to launch and connect the Linux server. You have to launch and connect the servers. That is, in this compute service, I have to explain how to launch the Windows server, how to launch the Linux server, how we can convert PEM file format to .ppk format, that is to connect your Linux server, and how we are creating the security groups, how to transfer files, that is your laptop or your desktop files are there. How can you transfer the files from your laptop to launched Windows server, from your laptop to launched Linux server? For that, I explain the concept is transfer files to the server. And also in this training program in EC2 service, I have to cover many services I have to cover. How we have to create, how to add users to the Linux server, placement groups. See, that is if we are working in the AWS, how we are balancing the load. To balancing the load, I have covered in the AWS the classic load balancer, application load balancer, and the network load balancer, and gateway load balancer. Those are different types of load balancers are supported by the AWS. I have to cover the three concepts. One is the classic load balancer. One is the classic load balancer, I have to cover the concepts. I cover the concepts in the load balancer, that is a classic load balancer, application load balancer, network load balancer, and gateway load balancer. Those are the types of load balancers are there. I have to explain these three load balancers with hands-on. So now the companies are using application load balancer and the network load balancer. That is, I have to cover the load balancers is those concepts I have to cover. And also in this training program, I had to cover some small concepts also, that is a status check. Why after launching the instance, the status check it is showing 2 by 2. What is the indication of 2 by 2, right? And how we are protect instance from the termination. Why the auto scaling is applied. I have to explain the auto scaling concepts with hands-on, right? That is how the resources are added, how the resources are increasing, how the resources are decreasing by using the auto scaling group. I have to explain. And also how we have to scale up and scale down, scale out and scaling, how to create the snapshot. Snapshot is nothing but the backup of your data. That is how we are creating the snapshots for your root user and the additional volume of user, how we are taken, how to move snapshot from Mumbai region to another region, right? How we are scheduling the snapshots. All those concepts we are discussed in the compute service. How to add the additional volume of disk. All the concepts are there. We have to cover it one by one. That is, here also I have mentioned that in the storage, elastic block store, how to attach and detach the additional volume of disk to the Windows server, to the Linux server, and how we have to shade the files from one Linux server to another Linux server. For that, we are using elastic file system we are using. See, for sharing the files, the AWS is supported only for the Linux servers only. It is not compatible for the Windows machine. I'll tell you in detail with hands-on. Each and every topic I have to explain with hands-on only. And also how to create the bucket, how we are uploading the object. There are many features that are there in the bucket. That is versioning feature, replication feature, the different storage classes are there. How to apply the replication concept. There are two types of replications are there. Same region replication and the cross-region replication. How to apply the transfer acceleration, encryption process, right? Bucket policies, access control. That is how to apply the lifecycle management. See, if we are seeing the Netflix or Prime videos or any OTT channels, the recently released movies, they are appeared for every subscribers. After 5 years or the 10 years, then that object cannot be visible. What is the reason behind that is they are applying the lifecycle management. How to apply the lifecycle management, that's I have to explain. Each and every concept I have to explain with hands-on only. And also how we are creating the access logs, how we got the notification to your mail ID. That is, whenever you are uploading the object to the bucket, then you got the notification to your mail ID. Whenever you are deleting the object to the bucket, then you got the notification to your mail ID, right? So that is each and every concept I have to explain with hands-on. How the object locking we are applying, how to connect S3 bucket using the WinSCP, how we can transfer from your laptop to the bucket, right? I can explain that. And also I can cover this concept also, identity and access management. See, in the organization, if we are joining, in the industry, if we are joining, let us assume that there are 300 employees are there. The management cannot provide each and every employee with their credit card or debit card. They are not providing their AWS account to their AWS account, right? How can you provide? How can access the each and every employee the AWS services based on their work? Based on their work, they are creating the IAM user. They are given the permissions. How to create IAM users, how we are given the permissions, how to attach the policies, how we can create the groups, how we are attaching the policies to the groups, and also how we have to create the custom policies, how we have to change the password policies also, right? Those concepts we have to see that. And also in the identity and access management, how we are creating the IAM role also I have to explain, right? And also to provide more authentication purpose. However, after creation of your AWS account, every day we are entered by using your mail ID and the password. Whatever the mail ID you are given at the time of AWS account creation, that mail ID you are given and the password you are given. Apart from that, to provide additional security, we are applying the multi-factor authentication. MFA stands for the multi-factor authentication. How to apply the multi-factor authentication for your root user and the AWS IAM users, right? So that concept also I have to cover. And also, this is important for your industry also. In the virtual private cloud, I have to cover how we had to create your VPC, how to create the subnets, how we are creating a public subnet, private subnet, how we are create the internet gateway, right? How to create the base, how to create the root table, right? See, in the public subnet, I'm launching the web server. In private subnet, I am launching the database server. How can you connect the database server? That is without IP address, you can't connect the database server. That's why we are using to resolve that. We are using the Bayesian host we are using. With the help of the Bayesian server, we are connecting the database server. How the NAT gateways are used, network access control list, some special permissions. That is for providing security purpose. We are using network access control list, informal ports, reachability analyzer, VPC peering. If we are creating the two VPCs, how can you establish the connection between one VPC to another VPC? That is nothing but the VPC peering concept I have to explain. Endpoint, flow logs, right? And VPC configure with AWS. All those concepts I had to cover around. I am taking the VPC, virtual private cloud, 7 to 8 hours I am taken. And then the analytics, Athena using Netflix data set I am using, explain using one case study, Athena concept. And also the Route 53 is there. Route 53 is there. First, I had to explain the overview regarding the DNS record overview, and then the routing policies I had to explain with one by one. That is, different types of routing policies are supported by AWS, simple routing policy, latency routing policy, failover routing policy, weighted routing policy, geolocation routing policy, multi-valued routing policy. All those things I have to explain with an example, right? Regarding the Route 53 concept. And also the database. Using your AWS, how can you connect your MySQL database? How we are creating the table? How to create the DynamoDB table? What are the different databases are supported in the AWS? All those concepts I have to cover in the database concept. And also security options I have to cover. And then application service, notification service, simple notification service, simple queue service, AWS calculator, Amazon event bridge, cloud formation, simple email service, service quota. I have to cover it, comes under the application service. And also the monitoring tools I covered in this training program, CloudWatch, logs, metrics, create billing alarms. I have to cover the monitoring tools. And migration transfer, AWS backup, data synchronization I have to cover. And AWS Snow is nothing but it's a theory concept. It's a theory concept. And also AWS budget, how we are creating. And at the end of the training, I'm explaining these projects I have to explain. One project which is related to the VPC, EC2 and the RTS. And another project I have to explain related to the S3, right? So those are the content I have to cover in my training program. Fine. Now, today's session, we have to discuss about the AWS, the cloud computing introduction. That is, in this this is the day one demo session. In the day one demo session, I have to explain the basics of the cloud computing. Today's session, I have to explain the basics of cloud computing. You know, what is the meaning of the cloud computing? Anyone has to know. Before joining this AWS training program, you have to know some little bit knowledge about the cloud computing. What is the cloud computing? With your knowledge, Murali and Rajneesh Kumar. You have a little bit knowledge on the cloud computing? Yes.
Everything, yeah, everything is available like on the cloud only, like all the resources, like any virtual services or load balancers, anything that we can access virtually, via cloud.
Okay. You are working somewhere, Murali?
Yeah, I'm a working person only.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fine. Rajneesh, Have any knowledge regarding this cloud computing, the basics of
No,
the?
sir. Good morning, sir. No, sir. I have no idea.
You are in new. Okay,
Yes,
fine,
sir.
fine. Okay. Now today's session. Okay, unmute your mic. Fine. Today's session, I have to explain the basics of the cloud computing. Basics of the cloud computing. See how we are defining the cloud computing. How we are defining the cloud computing. See the cloud computing, which is defined as how we are defining the cloud computing. Just now, he's saying that the Murli is saying that the cloud computing is nothing but you have to use the resources from the data centers. From the data centers. That is nothing but the cloud computing, which is defined as, that is, it is defined as storing and accessing of data and compute services over the internet connection. See, it does not store any data on your personal computer. It does not store any data on your personal computer. You have to store how much amount of data, that is any type of data that is we can store in the cloud environment. That is nothing but which is defined as storing and accessing the data. Whenever you need the data, we can access the data also. And also, if you want to use the services, whatever the compute service is there, you need the servers, we can use the servers. You need the Linux server, you need the Windows server, you need the Red Hat Linux server, you need the CentOS server. As per your requirement, we can use the servers also. That's why I mentioned that it is the on-demand availability of computing services. It is the on-demand availability of computing services. Like you need the servers, it is providing the servers as per your needs. That is, you need the Linux server, or you need the Windows server, or you need the Red Hat Linux server, it is providing the servers. Or you need the storage, it is also providing the storage. You need the networking, that is how we are, I can explain the concept around the 8 to 7 hours I have to explain. That is how we are providing the virtual private cloud. Networking also, it is providing the network. And also, if you need to connect the databases, we can connect the databases also using the cloud environment. We can provide the databases. You want to connect with MySQL, you want to connect with SQL, it is connecting the SQL using the AWS, or we can connect the MySQL using the AWS also. And also, if you need the serverless computing also, it is providing the serverless computing, right? So the cloud computing, which is defined as storing and accessing the data. Whatever you are storing the data, for that data, if we need to access it, we can access it. And you need the compute services, it is also providing the services. Based on on-demand availability, it is providing the services. You need the servers, it is providing the servers. You need the storage, it is providing. You need the networking, it is providing. Right? That is, it is providing the cloud computing is on-demand availability of computing services it is providing. Sir, what is the main purpose of the cloud computing is to give the access to data center to many users. From the data center, we can access it, n number of users are connected. See, the AWS is providing the global service. It is providing their services globally. How it is providing globally their services means, the examples for the cloud computing is the AWS, Microsoft Azure, Google Cloud, right? And the IBM, right? Those are some of the examples for the cloud computing. Sir, how the AWS it is providing their services globally? That is with their data centers. Their data centers has to globally it is spreading. With their data centers, their services can be provided. Similarly, Azure also, Google Cloud. right? So those are some of the examples for the cloud computing I am representing. See, the AWS is the #1 cloud platform throughout the worldwide. Then the second position is Azure. Third one is the Google Cloud, right? See, that's why you need to learn any cloud platform. That is when you want to join when you want to sustain your job, when you want to job needer, right? Then you have to update your skills, the cloud computing environment, right? So, sir, what are the advantages using the cloud computing? What are the advantages of the cloud computing? See, the advantages of the cloud computing is there are many advantages are there, but I have mentioned only the few of them. One is see, if we are using anywhere laptop or anywhere desktop, we are using the 500 GB. You need to upgrade from 1 TB to 1 TB, 1 TB data. Then what we are doing? Simply, you need to purchase the hard disk, and then we have to replace 500 GB hard disk to 1 TB hard disk. 1 TB hard disk. For example, if we are using the cloud environment, as per your needs, you have to store the data. That is, the cloud computing, it is providing unlimited storage capacity. Unlimited storage capacity. Unlimited storage capacity can be provided. That is one of the advantages using the cloud computing. And also see that the cloud computing, it is providing the many services it is providing. Many more services it is providing. I have to explain the AWS around, I have to explain 40 to 45 days of the service I have to explain. Only the basic services I have to explain. Right. See, whatever the service you need it, all the services it is providing, because the AWS, Azure, Google Cloud, they are providing globally, their services can be provided. Sir, how they are providing their services is based on pay-per usage model. That is, all the services in pay-per usage model. Pay-per usage model. Pay-per usage model. That is, all the services will be available in your account. But whatever the service you are using, but that service only you need to pay them. The rest of the services you no need to pay them. That is nothing but the cloud computing which is providing the services is based on pay-per usage model. Based on the pay-per usage model. How many years you are using, how many months we are using, accordingly you are getting billed to your AWS account or billed to your Azure account or the Google Cloud to your account, right? So that is in cloud computing, the services are providing based on the pay-per usage model. Don't worry. I'll tell you how to create your AWS free tier account. How to create your AWS free tier account. And I have mentioned that what are the free tier account limitations also. I can provide the link. On that link, the limitations are also there. Accordingly, we have to practice it. Fine. And then the cloud computing, another advantages I have mentioned that is, see, if 100 systems are there, to maintain those 100 laptops, 100 systems, you are recruiting the employees. But if we are using the cloud computing, the maintenance cost is very, very low. That is, only those who are the skilled persons are there, those skilled persons they are recruiting, they are using that one. So the maintenance cost is very, very low if we are using the cloud computing. That is low maintenance cost. Low maintenance cost. Low maintenance cost. And also the one more advantage I have to mention in the cloud computing is, that is one more advantage is, it is providing the excellent accessibility can be provided. Excellent accessibility can be provided. Means, suppose if we are creating your AWS account, it can be accessed 24/7, 365 days, we can access it. At any place, any location, right? In any city, we can access the AWS account. That is nothing but it is providing the excellent accessibility can be provided. We can access it 24/7, 365 days at any place, any location, in any place. You can access your services. Means it is providing the excellent accessibility can be provided. And one more advantage is that if you want to collaborate with other work, your work wants to collaborate with other employees, we can also collaborate it. That is cloud computing, it is providing the improved collaboration feature. Improved collaboration feature is there. And also one more advantage I have mentioned that using the cloud computing, you need to take the backup of the server. You are launching the Linux server or you are launching the Ubuntu server and you are doing some project work or you are doing some application you are developing. So whatever you are developing, you need to take the backup. We can take the backup facility is also there in the cloud computing. That is one of the advantages is the backup and restoring data. Backup and restoring data, right? And also one more advantage is whatever the data we are storing on the cloud computing, for that data, it is providing the security can be provided. Security can be provided, right? So that's about, those are some of the advantages I have mentioned using the cloud computing. See, in this session, I have to explain what is cloud computing. The cloud computing, which is defined as storing and accessing data on compute services over the internet connection. See, without the internet connection, we can't access the services. We can't access the services in the cloud computing. With internet connection, all the services can be accessed in the public cloud, especially in AWS or Azure or the Google Cloud. With the help of the internet connection only, we can access the services. We can access the services. It is providing the cloud computing based on the on-demand availability of computing services it is providing. You need the servers, it is providing. You need the storage, it can provide the storage also. You need the networking, it is providing. You need the databases, it is providing. As per your requirement, we can use the services. That is the cloud computing, which is providing on-demand availability of computing services it is providing. Those are some of the advantages I have mentioned in this session. And also, see friends, in this session, I have to explain cloud deployment models. Cloud deployment models. Or we also call it as the types of clouds. Types of clouds. See, the cloud computing, the deployment models or the types of clouds. There are total 4 types of clouds are there. How many types of clouds? 4 types of clouds are there. The 4 types of clouds are nothing but one is a public cloud. Second one is private cloud. Third one is hybrid cloud. And fourth one is community cloud. Those are the different types of clouds are there. Different types of clouds are there. See, if we are using public cloud, it is open to all. It is open to all. The public cloud is open to all. That is to store and access information by using the paper usage model. By using the internet connection based on the paper usage model. That is the public cloud is open to all. It is open to all. It is open to all to store and access information via using internet connection. Via using internet based on paper usage model. Based on paper usage model. Whatever the service you are using, for that service, you need to pay it in the public cloud. That is, it is open to all the users. It is open to all for storing and accessing the information by using the internet connection based on the paper usage model. Based on the paper usage model. Sir, in public cloud, computing resources who has to manage is, that is cloud service provider has to manage. CSP is nothing but the cloud service provider. Cloud service provider. Whoever providing the service, that person is nothing but the cloud service provider. If we are using AWS, AWS is the cloud service provider. Azure is the provider. Google Cloud is a cloud service provider. That is, in public cloud, computing resources are managed and operated by the cloud service provider. Sir, what are the examples for the public cloud? The examples of the public cloud is, that is AWS, Azure, Google App Engine, Google App Engine. Those are some of the examples I have mentioned for the public cloud. Next, the another type of the cloud is nothing but the private cloud. The private cloud, we also call it as the another name is the internal cloud or the corporate cloud. Internal cloud or corporate cloud. Internal cloud or the corporate cloud. It is used by organizations to build and manage their own data centers. They are established, they are creating the private clouds. It is used by the organizations to build and manage their own data centers internally, or by using the third party, they are establishing the cloud. That is nothing but the private cloud. Sir, how it can deployed using the open, it can be used the services is using the open source tools. Using the open source tools. They are using like the OpenStack, the Eucalyptus cloud, they are using that tools, they are using the services in the private cloud. Next, the hybrid cloud is nothing but the combination of these two. Combination of the public cloud and the combination of the private cloud. The name itself, which is represented, it is nothing but the combination of public and the private cloud. Public and the private cloud. Right? Public and the private cloud. Sir, hybrid cloud, it is providing partially secure. Why I am saying that the hybrid cloud, it is providing partially secure is, why I am saying that the hybrid cloud, it is providing partially secure is, here the services which are running on the public cloud, can access it by anyone. That's why it is providing security is low. If we are using the private cloud, that is, while the services which are running on the private cloud can be accessed only the organization users, only the organization employees they are using, right? That's why the hybrid cloud, it is providing the less secure or the partially secure I am providing. Partially secure it is providing. Sir, what are the examples for the hybrid cloud? That is Google application site. Google application site, that is nothing but Gmail, Google Apps, and Google Drive. Those are the examples for the hybrid cloud. Google App sites. And also Office 365. That's also comes under the hybrid cloud. Right? So hybrid cloud is nothing but the combination of public and the private. Next, one more type of the cloud is there, that is nothing but the community cloud. The community cloud, the group of organizations, they are formed together, they are establishing the cloud. Such type of cloud is nothing but the community cloud. What are the examples for the community cloud is the healthcare community cloud. Healthcare system, education system. Those are comes under the community cloud. So the cloud computing, it is providing total the 4 types of clouds are there. We also call it as a deployment models. Deployment models are the types of clouds, all are the same terms, right? So in this session, I explained the basics of the cloud computing is, first, how we are defining the cloud computing, what are the advantages of the cloud computing, what are the cloud deployment models, or we also call it as a types of models. 4 types of clouds are there: public cloud, private cloud, hybrid cloud, community cloud. I have to explain, right? So on tomorrow's session, I have to explain the cloud delivery models. I have to explain. We also call it as a service models in the cloud computing. The cloud computing, it is providing the cloud delivery models. Cloud delivery models. There are three types of delivery models which are provided. Three types of delivery models are nothing but one is infrastructure as a service, second one is platform as a service, third one is software as a service. These cloud delivery models I have to explain in the tomorrow session. If anyone have any questions regarding training and today's session, training I am providing in the beginning, that is, it is a 40 days of the training. Once you register the course, every day you are getting class recording videos, class material, you got it. Class material, you got it. At the end of the training, you got the AWS interview questions and answers. And after completion of your AWS training, you need to attempt the global certifications, that is cloud practitioner or the associate level. Then I'm providing the AWS dumps I am providing, that is previously how they are asking the questions and the answers I am providing in the AWS dumps. I'm providing around 800 pages I am providing. At the end of the 40 days or the 45 days of the training, I'm providing each and every topic, the screenshot explanation I'm providing, right? This is the day one demo session. In this day one demo session, I have to explain the basics of the cloud computing, what is cloud computing, what are the advantages of the cloud computing, what are the deployment models in the cloud computing. Deployment models, we also call it as a types of clouds. Types of clouds. You have any questions regarding the codes, the fee is for this one is 5,000 rupees, right? Now, any questions regarding the course duration and the content, you may contact these numbers also, fee also. Already I will send it in the chat box, right? You have to contact. In this session, I have to mention what topics I have to cover, what are the content I have to cover in this 40 days of the training. If you registered the course, then what you are getting also I have to mention. Right? Any questions?
Yes, sir. This side Rajnish, sir.
Yeah,
Sir, I wanted to know, you are going to teach us a DevOps plus AWS both, or only AWS?
We are planning the AWS only. So once you complete the AWS course, then you can go to the DevOps, right? Because all the services are there. In the services we are using in the DevOps also. That's why first you need to update your knowledge on the cloud computing. Okay?
Okay, sir. No, sir.
Fine.
After AWS, continue DevOps, you will go to teach us.
Yes, no problem. Even though without coding skills also, you got a job in the AWS. Without coding skills. I'll tell you in the next session. Okay? So,
thank you.
if you have the coding skills, then you may apply the other jobs also. Developer jobs you need to apply. You don't have the coding skills, then you apply the administrative jobs. AWS administration jobs are there. We can apply it. Okay?
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Fine. Thank you. Anyone? Srinivas?
Will this course covers the solution architect certification?
What? I can't understand your words.
No, it is this syllabus. So will it cover AWS solution architect?
Yes, accordingly, I have planned the content. As per the AWS associate level, I am planning the content accordingly. I have to plan it. All the concepts in this 40 to 45 days of the training, each and every concept I have to cover only hands-on. First 1 or 2 demo sessions, I have to explain the theory. From third day onwards, each and every day I have to explain with hands-on. I am focusing more on hands-on only. Okay? Murali.
Yeah, got it. Okay, so as a developer or DevOps, right? So every service is covered. That's what you mean. So something like in DevOps, like code deploy, these things will be there, right? Everything is
already I have mentioned what the service, what the content I have to cover in this training program. Okay. In this training program, what are the content I have to cover? In the beginning, I have to explain.
Okay, maybe I missed it in the beginning, so that's fine.
Don't worry about that. They are uploading this demo session in the YouTube channel, DurgaSoft YouTube channel. They are uploaded. We'll see. Okay. Fine.
Okay, fine.
Fine. Thank you. Srinivas, any questions?
No, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So if no questions, then I'll end the session. Tomorrow we'll meet the same time. Thank you.